What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about it. On this channel, I talk about my own personal experience from court corruption, police brutality, and more. I have nothing to gain to mislead, lie, or bash anyone. Everything I speak about is the truth and my own personal experience. If you're new to the channel or this is the content that you like, please consider subscribing. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. You see the title. I'm going to jail because of family court. And you know what? John David Ekping and his client, more so John David Ekping, has been trying very hard to put me in jail over this bogus family court case that I was unlawfully dragged into, given a lifetime permanent restraining order against a woman I was never married with, had children with, or lived with. She withheld a police report admitting that for a short period of time I was renting her basement, and even withheld a landlord-tenant eviction application that she personally applied for an eviction while renting her basement, an ex-girlfriend who did a solid. At the end of the day, I had all of my belongings in this property. I had my own separate entrance, my own bedroom, my own kitchen, laundry, bathroom. It was a full, complete unit that on my other YouTube channel, I actually have 3 videos that I made while living in that unit. And I've shared that on a previous video. So this video, I want to share with everyone the more outrageous crap. I don't even know what to call it corruption, because it is laced with corruption. But this new scheme by John David Ekping, this man is so relentless to not only destroy my finances, which he has, but it's not enough for him. He wants me on the street, and I wouldn't be surprised if he wants my blood. This man I personally have dealt with as an opposing lawyer for going on 4 years. And the crap that this lawyer has pulled and got away with, it's enough to have a full-out investigation into this lawyer. I can give you guys 30 examples why I'm convinced he got his lawyer's license out of a cereal box. His credentials, his education is not online. So if I were to guess, he got his license in Africa. And then he came to Canada, either applied as, got a work visa, or came as a refugee. And to me, if I was to guess, because there's none of John David Ekping credentials online, that he challenged the bar here in Ontario. And I'm not convinced he got his credentials, honestly. When I have, 10 applications, affidavits, unsigned, uncommissioned, which is like, it is what a junior lawyer in Ontario is taught, and this lawyer is not doing it. And not only that, what's even worse is that some of these top judges in the Kitchener-Waterloo courthouse has accepted these documents. Court staff have accepted these documents and even filed them. And even you got the prosecutors who turn a blind eye to all these pretty much criminal acts, And this is a lawyer who is got his neck on the chopping block, and he's being full out prosecuted by Law Society of Ontario Tribunal. And I've also been following that and documenting that. You guys can see that on this channel on what this lawyer is up against. But, if the damage isn't enough, if the $350,000 in fraudulent court costs wasn't enough damage, the $110,000 court order bogus cost for money never exchanged hands, for hours never worked, and then to top it off, filing a garnishment with still to this day, I do not know how to pay this application. This lawyer has all of my bank accounts frozen. He's got $110,000 and he's racking up interest like it's Vegas, and he won't let me pay it. Imagine that. This lawyer has taken tantrums in courtrooms, stomping his feet, writing on affidavits, lying to the courts, committing perjury, saying that I, Mr. Dobson, refuses to make payment when I've got 20 emails begging and pleading to make payments. I had to pretty much walk away from a job that I was making almost $22,000 a month in October of 2024. The amount of pension I lost, the amount of income I lost because of this psychotic, unhinged lawyer. And yeah, if that is not bad enough, this lawyer has attempted about 4 times to have me found in contempt in family court, and he is trying his darndest to put me in jail and breach a restraining order. And you guys are just not going to believe this outrageous, ridiculous, psychotic, deranged, delusional, schizo lunatic materials from this lawyer. So I'm going to get right into it, guys. This is going to be another monster video. And if you guys can just ride along with me, I'm going to try to hit this video out the park in hopefully 20 minutes. But we're going to get into this video right now that I might be going to jail because of family court. And this is another video by Let's Talk About It. And let's get into it. I might be going to jail because of family court. I was served a notice of contempt motion and affidavit on March 21st, 2025, just before my vexatious litigant motion. Ekping Young and his client started both of these applications. I was served 3 or 4 times in a 6-week period. And now that reeks of harassment. You know, this lawyer served me 3 or 4 times because he never signed the documents. This lawyer has a serious pattern of almost slapping together templates, rushing them, doesn't sign them, doesn't commission them. And that's what he's done with these 3 Form 31 notice of motion contempt. March 21st, March 28th, and May 8th, I was served. April 1st would have been my mother's 60th birthday, and Mother's Day falls on May 11th. John David Ekping Young is very aware about what happened to my mother, her story, how much it's affected me. And this lawyer just seems to love putting salt on an open wound. When he served me on March 28th, that was, days before my mother's birthday, a weekend I'm supposed to be celebrating, I get a knock at the door that I'm being served yet again this notice of contempt motion. He never signed it. The court rejected it. So he tries again on May 8th. Again, the weekend leading up to Mother's Day. This man is just, the stuff that he's doing to me, I'm telling you, most people would not tolerate. And then we wonder why we hear certain things on the news, and it's never right to these things. But this is exactly a perfect recipe for, I can see pushing someone over the edge. This man just has no boundaries of harassment. He has no boundaries of lying, committing fraud, because that's what he's done. This just basically, him serving me on these days and this many times just truly goes to show you how sick in the head and deranged John David Ekping Young is. John David Ekping Young filed all of his motions on a Thursday, which are reserved for long motions in the Kitchener-Waterloo courthouse. Those are for 2 hours or more. This was not a long motion. This was a short motion. John David Ekping Young signed the March 21st or 28th notice of contempt. Sorry, he never signed them. He never signed those 2 forms and served me. This man has a long history and pattern of doing this and has done this about 8 to 10 times. And this really what makes me believe that his credentials need to be investigated. This man, this ain't right. This is not normal. This is not how lawyers in Ontario conduct themselves. And this is how lawyers in Ontario need to be disciplined. Imagine that. Top judges, prosecutors, court staff, the Law Society of Ontario, this complaints resolution commissioner, the list goes on. All of these people collectively, I have a substantial amount of compelling evidence. They all allow this man to conduct themselves like this. And us, the public, really need to give our heads a shake that this is what is being allowed um, in our courtrooms. This is what the Law Society is supporting. If they're not going to discipline a lawyer, they're supporting it. Okay? These top judges that I've mentioned in my previous videos, these top prosecutors, all in the Kitchener-Waterloo courthouse, all of these things have been brought into their attention and they refuse to respond to it. Why? Again, because everything comes down to this family court endorsement. And I've gone into great detail how much the obvious flaws and abuse that I endured with that courthouse. John David Ekping-Young, like I said, did not attend law school in Canada. He challenged the exam, which is extremely suspicious. If he went to law school in Canada, he should share his education with the public, plain and simple. John David Ekping-Young and his client's notice of contempt motion is 34 pages long. His affidavit is 3 pages, and I will be reading those coming up. And this is what you guys are here for. The materials that this lunatic has actually written down and tried to file with the court, you're not going to believe. Like, again, it's more contribution to this recipe of a blockbuster movie. And it all surrounded pretty much this lawyer and what he's gotten away with. Okay? So here we go. Here's a text message from John on Saturday, March 8th, 3:53 p.m. Don't you know what you have done is a clear breach of the restraining order? This is an indirect contact. You are not allowed to contact blank directly or indirectly, but you have contacted her indirectly. You published her photo online, including her husband, which I never did. This is how fucking sick in the head this guy is. The shit that this guy says is incredible. The lies that this guy says is incredible. Watch what will happen to you next, okay? I'm going to tell this John David Ekping-Young, if this is even this guy's real name, guarantee this is like a fake name when this guy came to Canada. I wish John would stop fucking running his mouth and threatening me with all this fucking big talk behind a keyboard, behind a phone. This man has done nothing but harassing me for years. Turned my life upside down and destroyed my finances. I wish this man, you want to keep talking tough to me, John David Ekping-Young. What we need to do is we need to step in the ring. We need to do a boxing match for charity. And I really wish, this big tough guy talk, you think you're so tough, you think you're so big and bad and invincible. Honestly, I need the public's help to set this up. We do this boxing match for charity, and all the proceeds go to charity, obviously. And I think it would be really good for a lot of people. But, this man just won't stop talking out of his ass. I will be bringing a motion for contempt of court if after 48 hours you fail to take down the publication on YouTube. The penalty for contempt of court includes imprisonment and fines, meaning you will have a criminal record if you don't already have one. The reason that I gave him 48 hours to take the notice down is to forestall him from saying he did not know what the indirect breach was. The court is always strict on a party seeking contempt of court. This fucking lunatic won't shut his mouth. He won't leave me alone. So what am I doing? I'm exposing him. Because enough is enough, okay? I'm telling you guys right now. And okay. I took down I'm going to get into this, but I took down these videos and these pictures, which has nothing to do with my restraining order. I did nothing criminally wrong, and I still took him down. What does this bozo do? He still filed the notice of contempt motion. So after all that nonsense, I say, at 8:55, already spoke with the police because they called me 3 times that day. I'm good. Thank you for your concerns. Moving forward, I will be more diligent on my posts. Thank you for the friendly reminder. So, because this guy is such a lunatic, I had to block his email. He sent me 2 emails that day too, and I'm going to be reading those off. It's a part of his materials. And so he messages me again. You know how this guy loves messaging me on the weekends, right? This fucking lunatic sends me a text message, March 9th, 5:27 a.m. on a Sunday. The police are concerned with criminal law. They don't know anything about civil law. If you lose a civil law motion for contempt of court, you will face imprisonment or fine. To prove contempt of court, I have to show 1, that there was an order of court that you did not obey. 2, that you were given a warning, that your actions constitute a breach of the order of the court and given a time frame to remedy the situation. 3, that your actions constitute a deliberate, intentional, or willful violation of the court. That your actions constitute as tumultuous defiance of dignity of the court. Every court order is deemed to be correct, which it isn't. It's a fucking the most corrupted piece of paper that courthouse has ever delivered. We all know that. Okay? Correct? You had lost an appeal, so you are bound by the order, and you know about the order. You have no defense, so don't say you were warned. So I said to him at 12:20, so what do you want to do? That was the last time I ever talked to this guy on a text message. Because he's a coward. He blocked me. And you can't work with a lawyer. You know the courts, all they want parties. They don't want to make a decision. They want parties to work things out. I could never work anything out with this fucking bozo. Because he would never let me drop cases. He would never stop bringing cases on. Right? This Justice Ian Smith labels me a vexatious litigant. You know how many times this John David Ekpenyong and his client has brought me to court? You know what I mean? This man is vexatious. And if you guys look at, I'll put it up on the screen. In 2012, there was a justice that Ekpenyong went before in his early years of trying to be Johnny Cochran when he slipped on that ice cream box and tried to sue Versa Cold Logistics for $1.2 million. And the judge called him scandalous, vexatious, frivolous. That's all he's been dealing with this man. And that was in 2012. He's been doing it in 2012. He's been doing it in 2025. So I would not be surprised if the man's been doing it consistently ever since. And you know how many victims are out there that have dealt with this man? And I hope one day, and I've already talked to one actually, one of his previous clients. And our stories, excuse me, our stories are very, very similar dealing with the Ekpenyong. Okay? So yeah, I got the same day, I got 3 missed private calls. I checked my voicemail. It's Constable Tyler Brown from the Waterloo Region Police. So I called him back. I spoke to him. And, and I'm going to get into this restraining order. I'm going to get into all of the materials that this man, this deranged lawyer, Ekpenyong, filed. And I'm going to get into all of my response, right? So this officer, trying to twist things around, trying to manipulate. I don't get what this guy was saying. I did nothing criminally wrong. This guy's talking. The officer was basically useless. I tried to get help from him. I took the videos down. Okay, I took those videos down, and I said to this officer, I said, "Hey, I'm going to court now. Can you write something saying that you told me to not post pictures, right? Which isn't in my restraining order. It doesn't say I can't post pictures, and that is not contacting someone indirectly. And again, just more evidence that shows John David Ekpenyong does not know what he's doing, and how sick in the head he is to try to twist things around. And when you go before judges who just simply don't like you, they'll feed into this bullshit, and they can ruin lives like they ruined my life dealing with this Kitchener-Waterloo courthouse. So Ekpenyong gives me 48 hours notice to remove the post. I did that. And he still went ahead and filed this application. So I deleted all the videos, even though I did nothing criminally wrong. And out of fear, because I seen how unhinged John David Ekpenyong is and what these courts allowed him to do to me. That it was part of it. Think about it. How fucking dangerous this man is. This lawyer is. How dangerous these courts are. You guys have seen in the previous videos what they allowed. And it's pretty obvious that someone high up there has been orchestrating all this stuff that's happening, because there's a very clear and obvious pattern of judicial abuse. So yeah, John David Ekpenyong went ahead and filed his notice of contempt motion. So because of John David Ekpyong's shady antics, I rebranded my channel. And this action, what he did to me. He told me he wouldn't file it, and he did. And you know, I rebranded my channel and going strong and truthful ever since. And I always have been. Okay. So you guys just aren't going to believe this, what this lawyer's trying to put me in jail for. My restraining order says, do not contact this person. Do not come in this distance, 500 meters. It's the max. Which I forget. It's like half a kilometer. I forget. I should know, but basically, this is insane. Like this right here, what I'm about to get into, you guys are just not going to believe. And honestly, I have to share this with you guys, and there's going to be information in here that I just have to say. This is his notice of contempt. You notice here he finally signed it. There's his signature, a little chicken scratch that he finally signed. So let's get into this. This is what John David Ekpyong wrote on his notice of contempt motion to try and put me in jail over family court, a bogus restraining order, with a woman that had no domestic violence with, no police history with, dragged through family court, judges caught blocking out endorsements, filling out applications, deleting endorsements, lying on endorsements. And all these supposed investigative journalists don't want to talk about this. Because why? Because there's so much fear into them that they're scared to lose their jobs, or their superior, especially they're working for the CBC News, who got funded what, 1.9 billion last year or something. It's some crazy number. I have to put that up on the screen. So here we go. Let's get into this notice of contempt motion by John David Ekpyong. I'm just going to get number one. Schedule A. The respondent, Daniel E. Dobson, be found in contempt for breach of restraining order. For contempt for breach of the restraining order, willfully disobeying the order of Honorable Justice Gibson, made on 16th April 2024, which restrained and prohibited him pursuant to its terms and for its contempt of court and his contemptuous defiance of the authority and dignity of court by doing from periods 1st of February 2021 to the present or time during that period, conducting himself or permitting, causing, directing, inflicting, facilitating, or encouraging other persons to conduct themselves in contempt of court by engaging as intentional activity designed to contravene. Well, listen to this fucking bullshit. This guy honestly thinks he's William Shakespeare. Like, these guys using all these big words, trying to fucking, you know what I mean? This is outrageous. I honestly don't know to laugh or to rip this up. How ridiculous this is. Honestly, number two, in contravention of the terms of the order, the respondent, Daniel Lee Dobson, acted in defiance of the order by A, posting photos or images of the applicant and her counsel on social media, including YouTube and Facebook. So what? You want to fuck around? You want to lie to the courts? You want to submit fraudulent documents? I'm not going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to expose you, Mr. Ekpyong, and anyone else that wants to act in these shady ways, because you know what? You and your client have collaborated together. You guys have broken so many laws, and the police are fucking won't do their job. The prosecutors won't do their jobs. The judges won't do their jobs. You've got a straight up a horseshoe up your ass, and one day it's going to fall out, and you're going to be done. You're going to run out of luck. B, posting a photo or image of the Honorable Justice Gibson on YouTube, Facebook, or similar platforms. You see how he tries to lead in with the judge, right? He's using the judge's name to try to, get him going. Nothing in my restraining order says I can't do these things. Posting a photo of the applicant's ex-husband on YouTube, Facebook, or similar platforms. This is how fucking deranged John David Ekpyong is. This is how sick in the head this is. This man, honestly, man, this when you do this kind of shit, karma comes back to you, because you're gonna see what this man is trying to do. Okay, they pretty much searched my ex's ex-husband, who had one of the most high-profile divorces in the Kitchener-Waterloo courthouse, and I would not be surprised if Justice Gibson was a part of it. He probably was. This divorce went on for 3 years. My ex is getting high four figures a year. Like, what she got from her ex is insane. And I'm back in family court. This is a business for this woman. Posting the date of birth of the applicant on YouTube. I never posted her fucking date of birth again. And I'm going to have to share all these materials to protect myself. And if someone's not going to properly investigate John David Ekping, then the public will. The public's going to see this. And I haven't even gotten to my lawsuit with John David Ekping. You guys, if you guys are following me right now and you guys are saying how fucking bogus this is, and I haven't even gotten into this, wait till you see what I got into this lawsuit. Wait till I share this lawsuit with you guys. You guys just ain't going to believe the more batshit crazy this guy's trying to pull. Number 3, contravention of defiance of the terms of the order continues to the date of this affidavit, despite the written warning given to the respondent, Daniel E. Dobson, by email on the March 9th of 2025 in the possibility or imminence of the contempt proceedings. So yeah, you're going to see in his materials, I took all the videos down. This is how fucking stupid this man is. An order that the respondent be fined or imprisoned for such a period of time on terms are as just. An order that the respondent pay such costs as are just. And this is what he's really trying to do here. And I'll never stop talking about this. I'm always going to be talking about what John David Ekping until he is held accountable. Whether there's a court order or not, I will do jail time about continuing to tell the truth about what John David Ekping did to me and what these court staff and these public servants, these judges, my ex, all collectively worked together, destroyed my finances. Okay? An order permanently banning the respondent from any further publication against the applicant, her counsel, John David Ekping, the Honorable Justice Gibson, to immediately remove the offending photos and videos from his YouTube channel. And for such further and other relief as such, and proper to the courts. Trying to get more money, trying to violate my charter rights, my freedom of speech. So I'm going to read this. This is my response, okay? This is my response to Mr. Ekping cuckoo application. Okay. Number 1, Mr. Ekping, again, is abusing the court's time with more frivolous applications and materials. Number 2, Mr. Ekping claims I acted in defiance. This is untrue. Number 3, acting in defiance is described an action which shows that someone refuses to obey someone or something. 4, I have not contacted the applicant directly or indirectly since April 8, 2022, when I moved out of her basement apartment. I have not done the things suggested in Schedule A, 2, B, C, D, and there is nothing in Mr. Ekping materials to support this. Mr. Ekping emailed me on March 8th, 2025, harassing me yet again about breaching my restraining order, contacting his applicant indirectly. I never contacted the applicant indirectly. Number 7, the applicant contacted the Waterloo Region Police about a post I made about Mr. Ekping admitting his client paid $7,000 for court costs and then requested $160,000, which I was ordered to pay $60,000. They refused to accept partial payments, and I've had my bank accounts frozen since September 6, 2024. Constable Tyler Brown of the Waterloo Region Police called me on March 8, 2025 about the applicant's inquiry. Constable Brown said I did nothing wrong, I did not breach anything, and the occurrence had been completed and closed. The few posts were factual and taken down within 24 hours as requested by Mr. Ekping and suggested by Constable Brown, which I didn't have to do. There was nothing wrong to do that. But because this man he gets away with murder pretty much, I took them down out of fear. What does he do? He still files it in lies, saying he warned me. Mr. Ekping and his client refused to accept partial payments, and my bank accounts have been frozen since September 6, 2024. Imagine that. Isn't it fucking incredible? I'm still surviving. My bank accounts have been frozen 14 months, going on 15 months. Tell me that. Who else can survive 14 months, bank accounts frozen? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I'm doing it, and I'm not trying to be arrogant about it. I don't know how the fuck I'm still surviving and living, and I'm not homeless. And I'll be honest right now, if I'm not homeless in 2026, I will be surprised. If I survive homelessness in 2026 and bankruptcy, because it's going to happen, I'll be very surprised. Because of these malicious tactics, I cannot keep a job. This is number 11. And I continue to experience extreme mental and financial hardship, which the courts have demonstrated from level 1 to level 6 individuals. They do not give a shit about men's mental health. And all of this stuff that's happening is contributing to men's suicide, the men's suicide rate. And it's absolutely bullshit that these public servants are getting away with this abuse. Number 12, I want to move on with my life, make payments to the court order, and request my bank account to be unfrozen. Still to this day, it remains unclear how or who to make payments to. This notice of contempt is another example of how abusive, harassing, and psychotic Mr. Ekping-Young's behavior is. Making these claims with the lack of supporting materials, the court should hold Mr. Ekping-Young in contempt. 14. Mr. Ekping-Young is requesting that the Kitchener court, 100 kilometers out of his jurisdiction, to request a publication ban against him. 15. Mr. Ekping-Young is requesting that the Kitchener Superior Court to violate my rights of freedom and speech. 16. Freedom of speech is a fundamental right that allows individuals to express their opinions and ideas without fear of censorship or retaliation. 17. I have never made any false statements. Everything I ever spoke about in and out of court has been factual, logical, and rational. Unlike Mr. Ekping-Young and his many acts of perjury, fraudulent bills of cost, who still to this day refuses to show the court's proof of payment, these extraordinary bills of exaggerated work and money that never exchanged hands. 18. Mr. Ekping-Young is requesting the courts to partake in violating my charter rights, section 2B, freedom of expression. 19. I request the courts deny this request and assist on how to make payments to the $60,000 court order and bank accounts to be unfrozen. Wrote this March 27, 2025. Still to this day, there's no instructions from anybody, from the courts, how to make these fucking payments. This man has straight up abused his license every way possible because he's about to hopefully be prosecuted by the Law Society Tribunal and lose his license. But this man will not accept payment plan. The courts don't tell me. There's no plans. Justice Martha Ann Tweedy, I went before for the garnishment dispute. I lost a garnishment dispute before a judge who fucking unlawfully put my case into a trial. Justice Martha Ann Tweedy needs to be investigated and removed from the bench, plain and simple. And how about we just start with what she blocked out and those transcripts? I know what she blocked out. She's admitting to filling out the trial schedule endorsement form, which a judge isn't supposed to do. Parties are supposed to do that. That's Rule 17, Sub Rule 11. And this judge does not know the rules. Or she was instructed to bend and break the rules and the laws, because that's what she did. The Minister of Justice won't talk to me. The Attorney General won't talk to me. The Ontario Attorney General of Ontario won't talk to me because they're all in on it. If they're not going to investigate, they're a part of it. They're aiding and abetting judicial abuse. Now, let's get into this psychotics. The John David Ekping-Young's psychotic. I gotta cover up an address right here, right? But this is John David Ekping-Young's affidavit. It is almost 3/8 of an inch. Okay, this thing is wider than my cell phone. This thing is wider than my cell phone. This is how psychotic this man is. Okay. So let's get into this. And he's missing. He's missing. Here he goes again. This is his affidavit. Okay. And he's got, I forget how many, he's got 3 exhibits. He's got 30 pages, crammed. Again, this is more evidence. This guy does not know what he's doing. Anytime you have one exhibit, that's exhibit 1. You have another item. You don't just fucking bunch things together, slap it together, and throw it together. This is what this man has done. This is what this man has gotten away with. This is pretty much the same thing I wrote before. Okay. Or sorry, what I read before. Oh, here we go. Yeah. I'll read it anyways because it's more bullshit. Number one, on April 16th, 2024, the Honorable Justice Gibson made a order restraining and prohibiting the respondent from contacting me directly and indirectly. I love how like John David Ekping Young writes it as if his client is writing it. And I know it's one of the rules. You're not supposed to talk in third person. It's one of the rules. But I love how he's just writing on her behalf. Like it's coming from her. From contacting me directly or indirectly. I also believe that the order implies that the respondent must not contact me physically or digitally. I also believe that the restraining order. This fucking lawyer, I can't get over this shit that this comes out of this guy's mouth. I also believe. So now he's like manipulating, which he's good at. Okay. Annexed hereto and marked as Exhibit A to the restraining order. However, on March 9th, I became aware that respondent has published or posted my photos and my counsel, John David Ekping Young, on social media as YouTube and Facebook. The respondent also posted my birth date on YouTube and Facebook. The respondent also posted a photo of the Honorable Justice Gibson on YouTube. Annexed here to exhibit marked as B. Never posted a birthday. And on March 9th, yeah, I took it down. Right? So he's got 5 ripped out. He's got it blocked out. So he went ahead and he took this out. When he photocopied these, he blocked something out. Number 6, the respondent has convened the order of Justice Gibson by contacting me digitally and harassing me and my lawyer, John David Ekping Young, on his YouTube channel. The never-ending harassment by the respondent has profoundly distressed me. The respondent continues to talk about the landlord tribunal and the restraining order cases that I won. Ha! That you won. The restraining order cases? What do you mean? The fucking restraining order that you never signed? A fucking document must be signed to make it legible, to make it bondable. Okay? What, the fucking trial schedule endorsement form that was never filled out, served, and filed with the court? Oh, the family court case, the restraining order that you won, Ekping Young won, with no history of police, no police history, no domestic violence, with a woman I was never married with, had children with, or lived with, a woman almost 25 fucking years older than me, a woman that I helped for 14 months renovate her home. I gutted her whole house. I gutted that whole house, and I never got paid a fucking cent. Okay? She bragged in the landlord-tenant board, went up $800,000. I never got paid any of that. And I should be entitled to spousal support if this judge wants to call me a common law spouse. You want to go there? Kitchener's top judge want to call me a common law spouse? I should be entitled to spousal support then. And I never went after that. This is how ridiculous this is. This is what a circus this family court is in the Kitchener-Waterloo courthouse. Okay? I feel so violated and stressed to the point of burnt out. Number 8, fucking. This is exactly what I've been living. You want to? This is distressed, like violated. This court did nothing but violate my rights, man. 8, on the information and belief, my lawyer, John David Ekping Young, emailed the respondent on March 9th, warning him that he will be bringing a motion of contempt if he did not take down the offending photos from his YouTube channel and cease and desist from further publication. However, he refused the heed warning, annexed to marked as Exhibit C in the email to the respondent by my counsel. You guys are going to see their exhibits. There's like 4 of them. It says video no longer available because I took them down. This man needs to be locked up. My ex needs to be locked up for this shit that they're getting away with. There needs to be an investigation. This is the craziest thing, man. And I'm surprised more people ain't talking about this. Because think about it. If it could happen to me, it could happen to you. Number 9, another collateral damage caused by Mr. Dobson as a result of posting or publishing my name and my counsel's name on his YouTube channel and Facebook is that when someone searches my counsel, John David Ekping Young's name, my ex's name will show up in the search record as my husband's name is John David. Okay, I'm sorry I have to say that. Because the truth is, I have nothing but respect for this man. Okay? I've never met him. You want to talk about a fucking man? A man's man? A real man? That's what this man is. Straight up. He's a fucking one of the most hardest working people out there. And now these fucking clowns are dragging this man into this, saying that I'm putting pictures on there. When you search John David Ekman, you guys are going to see this. I'm going to put it up on the screen when I'm talking about it. They put John David Ekman, and there's a picture of my ex's husband. Okay? This is more judicial perjury. I know for a fact that they must have. I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure because what they're saying is bullshit. They typed her husband's name. They got a picture. The husband came and they changed the name in the search bar. That's the only way for this to happen. Okay? Exhibit A. Let's look at Exhibit A. Okay? This order, it's a restraining order. I'll put that up on the screen. Basically, it's not the full order, but it says, it doesn't say anything. Oh, right here. This court orders that, this is my restraining order. These are my conditions. That my birth date, shall not contact or communicate with the following people. My ex, the applicant, except through or in the presence of counsel. 2, come within 500 meters of her address or any other place where the applicant might reasonably be expected. This woman admitted to visiting 7 businesses in Burlington. She was seen on Facebook riding a bike within months of starting this restraining order application. This woman says she fears for her life from me, but yet continues to frequent businesses around where I live, frequents riding her bike down where I live. You think if someone was truly scared they would be doing these things? No, they wouldn't. This is Canada's most corrupted family court case in Canadian history. Here is the judge's endorsement where the witnesses were caught lying, where this judge referenced all these case laws. There's nothing in relation to my situation with this woman. Nothing. And I will do a full video of all these case laws that this trial judge, Justice Michael Gibson, referenced. These were all couples that were married, that had children. This man is referencing case laws that has nothing to do with my case. Okay? This judge had absolute no consideration for my finances. Exhibit B. Here's the post I did. I'll put them up on the picture. Right? There's the phone call where John David Ekman admitted his client paid $7,000 and not $160,000. Okay. More. Yeah, these are pictures of all on Facebook. They have them all. It's the same shit. Yeah, I put a post on there sharing my family court experience. Here's her girlfriend, Marcia. Who is Lee Dawson? Check his Facebook. I can't. Call me. There's a picture of me. There's my video. It's saying, I am facing unnecessary extreme mental and financial hardship dealing with various courts. Oh, the video's private. Video's private. Okay. Oh, this video isn't available anymore. Oh, this video isn't available anymore. Crooked Judges, Anonymous. More Ekman. Oh, I can't wait to get an email. Yeah, more. That's right. That's right. This is called family court corruption. And this is the fear. So I'm looking at right now. It says, they try to finesse the courts. They basically put her ex's husband in the search bar. And actually, this is ridiculous. It just says, this is retarded. No, this is retarded. This says her husband's name. There's nothing in here. You search John David Ekman. See how retarded this is? If you search John David Ekman, my ex-husband's gonna come up. They didn't search John David Ekman. And I want to get into this email that this fucking lunatic sent me, Exhibit C. So he sent me an email. This is what I mean. This man just won't stop harassing me. He sent me 2 emails on Saturday. One was at 5:56. One was at 11:41. And he says here, Mr. Dobson, given the seriousness that a finding of contempt entails, I thought should warn you seriously on the Ontario Court of Appeal has adopted three-part test for finding contempt under Rule 31 of Family Law Rules. The criteria which apply to finding of guilt for contempt of court are well established. A three-part test has been met. The order which has not been complied with must clearly and unequivocally set forth and must not set forth what must be done or not done. The party who disobeys the order must have done so in deliberate and voluntary manner. The evidence must establish contempt beyond reasonable doubt. It is clear that any doubt must be resolved in favor of the person who have violated the order. He tries to reference something in services for children and adults. In addition to this three-part test, or more appropriately in providing the second part of the test, that the disobeying part did so in deliberate or voluntary manner, Ontario courts have also stated that in order to make a finding of contempt, the court must satisfy itself. The relevant order was clear and ambiguous. The fact of the order's existence was within the knowledge of the respondent on the motion at the time of the alleged breach. That the respondent intentionally did or failed to anything in contravention of this order, blah, blah, blah. He sends me another email, long fucking email here. Mr. Dobson, I want to bring it to your attention that you have breached a restraining order by publishing disparaging remarks about my client and her lawyer on YouTube. And her lawyer? He is the lawyer. Wait, no, who's this? Wait a minute. Hold on. This is from John. Wait a minute. This is nuts because at the top it's my ex, it's her girlfriend, her daughter, and then there's Ek Ping Yang, and her lawyer, which he's the lawyer, sorry. The restraining order issued under Section 46 of Family Law prohibits you directly or indirectly contacting the applicant, which includes any form of communication that you perceived as harassment or intimidation. You want to talk about harassment or intimidation? That's all this fucking lawyer tries to do with me. And it ain't working. In the case of Wibbs Dobson, because it's on there, this isn't no, you go online, it's all public documents. The court issued a restraining order prohibiting Dobson from contacting the applicant directly or indirectly, which would encompass online communication such as YouTube videos. The purpose of the restraining order is to protect the applicant from any harassment or intimidation, whether physical or digital. Furthermore, Dobson versus Green, another Dobson case. I love it. He picks up, this is how lazy this lawyer is. Right? He searched my name, right? A similar restraining order was issued to prevent the respondent from contacting or approaching the applicant, which included any form of communication that be deemed as harassment. Dobson versus Green. I got to look in again. I'm going to look into all these cases that this lawyer is talking about, because there was the ones he referenced at the family court trial had no relation, had no connection to the case I was before. Again, judges, this lawyer, are doing these case laws for cases that have no relation to my case. Okay. Additionally, the court issued a restraining order that included prohibitions. See, I'm just going to put this up on the screen because this guy's just talking out of his ass. Straight up. We've seen what the restraining order said. Okay. We've seen what it said I can do and I can't do. And the fact that this guy is even doing this shit, there's something mentally wrong with this man. Now, I'm going to read my response. And this has to be all, public needs to know about these things. This is entertaining, but at the same time, this entertainment is basically at the cost of my mental health, all this shit I'm going through. So hopefully one day, we can, get together and say that this is wrong. This ain't right. That I got to go through this and I got to go through it alone. So that's a whole nother situation, but I responded to this lunatic. And March 27th. So here, these materials here, I have 18 points. Okay. I want to read it to you guys. So, response to this affidavit. 1. There are no supporting materials to suggest I posted the respondent's birthday. 2. Nothing in the exhibit states I breached my restraining order. 3. Where is the picture of Justice Gibson? 4. I never contacted Miss Wibbs digitally. 5. The applicant continues to play the victim with never-ending harassment. They won't leave me alone. How about me? This is 6. Being dragged to family court for 3 years on a restraining order application never signed. An applicant 23 years older than me, who was never married with, had children with, or lived with, forced to go to a trial when the applicant and her lawyer never filled out, served, or filed their trial schedule endorsement form, requesting for $160,000 after admitting only paying $7,000, running to the courts, saying I refuse to make payments, then freezing my bank accounts when I've made several attempts to make payments. And there's never ever been discussion about making any payments. 7. The applicant said in court, I will never unfreeze your bank accounts, and now she's garnished my wages. How is this even fair or allowed? I can tell you guys right now, you can't garnish 100% someone's paycheck. This is what they're pretty much doing to me. I have a garnishment that's in place. I lost a dispute, which is 20%. And I would not be surprised if Ekping Young is going to try to finesse whoever it is that I'm working for in the future and say that, oh, this is family court. It must be 50%. 50%, if anyone out there that has children or were married or was actually like legally supposed to be in family court, a garnishment for children or spousal support is up to 50%. Court cost is not. Number 8, serving me these materials before the vexatious litigant application is another unhinged tactic. 9, responding to these materials has me under the gun and only given 13 days to respond. It gives me no time to properly prepare, and I had to cancel an appointment booked 6 months prior. So think about it. This is how shitty of a lawyer John David Ekping Young is, and this is how good, I'd like to say without bragging or sounding arrogant, under the gun, 13 days. I had all these materials filled out, served, and filed after he finally decided on the 4th attempt to sign his materials. 10. Exhibit A. I was given a lifetime restraining order against the applicant with zero history of any police involvement or domestic violence issues. I'm trying to wrap my head around this matter. I had no business being in family court, let alone a trial. 11. Searching Mr. Ekping Young name, the applicant's ex-husband name does not come up in the search. And I'm going to show you guys this, what they said and what they showed that came up in the search. More abusive, and gaslighting with no evidence. In fact, when I try to do the search, nothing comes up. So what was that? So was that exhibit photoshopped? 12. Ekping Young will not stop harassing me and using this court to continue his abusive ways. One of many of her harassing emails and text messages are in the exhibits. Emailing me at 5:27 a.m. on a Sunday. This is abuse and harassment. When will the court step in and stop this? When are you guys going to step in and stop this? These court officials that are allowing this. Imagine this. This is what we're paying for. This is incredible that this is happening. Most top Superior Court judges make $500,000-$600,000 a year, and this is what they're allowing lawyers to get away with. It's incredible. It's insane, and it's incredible that this is happening. And these investigative journalists aren't talking about it. It's incredible. 13. Mr. Ekping Young asked me to remove my post on March 8, 2025, which I did not have to do. And I did. You see this in the exhibits, available on video unavailable on March 9, 2025. Ekping Young asked me to remove the videos within 48 hours or else he will go to endless lengths to find me contempt. I complied with his request. When referencing Exhibit C, the cases Mr. Ekping Young mentions has no relation to me. That's what I was saying. I have not directly or indirectly communicated with with the applicant, nor have I been charged by the police. 16. Examples of this never-ending abuse of harassment by Ek Ping Young are included in my exhibits A to P. Exhibit C. He says, you should refrain from engaging in suicidal missions. What you have done is extremely suicidal to your own interest. I have mentioned several times in court the abuse I have received over the past 3 years, which would make any man have suicidal thoughts. I have mentioned several times in court the abuse I've received over the past 3 years would make any man have suicidal thoughts. I've brought this up several times, and this lawyer stoops down to use this word towards me. Okay? Emailing the materials on December 31st, 2024 at 8:01 p.m. This fucking lunatic served me his divisional court materials, which was a year late. And he was even given an extension 30 days by Justice Gibson to file it before 4 p.m. on December 1st, 2024. This was a month previous. What does this lawyer do? Serves me on the day of, and it's on near fucking midnight. You see the pattern of abuse Ek Ping Young is doing? So he loves to serve me, harass me on the weekends, late hours of the day, on holidays, my mother's birthday, Mother's Day. You guys need to open up your eyes if you don't know what a psychotic human being is, the psychological torture and warfare that is going on in and out of these courtrooms and in and out of life in general. Take it from my story. I'm giving you examples of people conducting themselves this way, people in power, people that we're paying for through our tax dollars, and they're getting away with these things, which is, again, it's insane and so incredible at the same time. When will the Kitchener, number 19, when will the Kitchener Superior Court stop giving a blank canvas to Mr. Ek Ping Young and his client to maliciously abuse the court's process and constantly harass me? Right? Because that's what this man's been doing. Trying to put me in jail. This man is personally trying to put me in jail. Serving me at that vexatious litigant right before we go in. What a little friggin' little scumbag tactic. We're there for his bogus vexatious litigant, an application left at my door, a motion he never confirmed his attendance for, which is what? Rule 37.10.1.1.4, that you must serve it. If you don't serve it, motions don't happen. The 3 top judges ran them anyways. And now this bonehead wants to put me in jail. Ha! In family court. This man is trying everything in his power. I just want to pay this fucking bogus bill. They won't let me do that. And these fucking prosecutors and these court staff are all fucking scared because they're getting orders from their superiors to do this to me. I'm sorry, that's just the honest truth. I have nothing to gain to mislead, lie, or bash anybody, but that's the honest truth. This man has been caught obstructing justice, committing perjury, judicial perjury, harassment, threatening me, stalking me. The police won't do anything. The prosecutors won't do anything. Judges won't do anything. The Law Society of Ontario won't do anything. So this is what it comes down to. Me going public and sharing what I'm going through with everyone. And, things have been really quiet lately. I'm surprised that there's not more people talking about this situation, this story. And I know, hey, it's not easy doing these videos. I would be weary too. I would be distant too. It's bullshit. But I wish more people out there, these investigative journalists, these public servants would grow some fucking balls and help me out and speak up about this corruption. This is not a man who is crazy, being delusional, unrational, schizo, paranoid, none of that. This is a man who's fucking has the courage to go public, to speak about the traumatization that I've gone through with this court. I've been seriously fucking traumatized by this judicial abuse. And nobody should be surprised I'm making these videos and I'm going public. I'm honestly surprised more people ain't speaking up. But because since I'm doing these videos, you know how many people contact me? And they're saying, right on for speaking up, man, I could never do that. Well, why not? Why is it so hard for you to speak up and tell the truth and to share everything you're going through? Why? Because the government puts fear in everyone. They put fear, and people don't know. And that's why it's the other thing too is this whole country has been ransacked with immigrants. Immigrants are just trying to get their papers. Half of them, everybody up to doing scams. So how do you control a country when you have all this immigration? Because they're not going to say shit, you know? But Canadians who've been established, who've been abused, they should not be scared and not be fearful of speaking up, especially if it's factual and is truthful and is brutally honest like what I'm doing. I'm going to stop the video right there. And I just want to thank everyone that's watched up until this point. This is what I'm going through. I am stuck in a web of psychotic behavior with this man, John David Ekping-Young, talking out of his ass, filling out bogus applications, affidavits, not signed, not commissioned. The courts are accepting it and railroading me. This man admitted his client paid $19,000, which I don't even think they paid that. And then what does he do? He turns around and asks for $350,000 fucking dollars, and nobody's questioning this. Man, hey, if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. Okay? Hopefully I don't go to jail because of family court, and hopefully I don't go to jail at all. You know, I'm just trying to educate the public. You know, so this is shitty. You know, I was involved in all these charities, fucking rockin' union electrician, and my life got railroaded because of judicial abuse, because of family court. The court I was unlawfully dragged through. Superior Civil Court, unlawfully dragged through. Small Claims Court, friggin' judicial abuse. You guys seen in the previous videos. It's wild what I'm going through, and you guys can just please show your support. You know, leave comments, like, share, subscribe, man. This ain't right. And someone's got to speak up, man. So this is another video from Let's Talk About It. And I could be going to jail or family court, and hopefully I don't, but these are the materials that were submitted. Thank you guys for watching.